how this goes here. We're gonna do like a super, super fast update. Super fast. Basically, I'm waiting for my truck to warm up. And I thought, because I'm not getting in it, it's freaking cold out there. So I figured I would do a quick update because I really haven't done anything for the past few days, and I apologize for that. Kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but I really had to focus on what I was doing to get this, to get to the point here where we can start doing stuff, because now we've got some things set up and in place where we can actually live stream things a little better. Or I shouldn't say it like that. We can actually live stream from here without it being a cluster. Like we've got our static IPs and all that stuff set up. So this is only going to be like a 5-minute thing. I just, I don't want to, I was kind of bored and I don't want to get in the truck right now because it's cold, obviously. So I'll show you a couple things that have changed since the last time. So different desk. I don't think anybody is. No, you guys have. Hold on. I was gonna say I think you guys have seen the desk, but we replaced the previous desk with this one. So those Amazon desks are great, but my God, they're freaking flimsy. I had some brackets and I tried to sturdy them up, and they're just. The problem, maybe it's not that they're really that flimsy. It's just this monitor is heavy, and this monitor arm. In order to get this in the right spot, you have to hang it off at the side, like toward the side. So it's a lot of weight. You know, it's 15 pounds, well, probably 10 pounds hanging on this arm. And every time you would type, it would just wiggle the shit out of this monitor. It's terrible. And I don't really have any other options, but obviously now having the sturdier, like this is a legitimate, like actual desk. So we don't have that problem. It's actually a pretty nice desk, used obviously, but secondary monitor there, that's 1080p, 1080p, 120 FPS, HDR. That's just a secondary monitor. This thing up here is 4K, 240 FP or 240 hertz. Really nice unit, goes really good with the MacBook Pro, obviously. So running that, because what's nice, I don't have to run, well, I'm still running 2 external monitors. So what I'll do is I'll put something up over there if I'm working on extra stuff. But I can run, 3 things. I can split this in thirds and run as much as I could really on 3 monitors with that. So anyway, that's kind of the update there, whoop-de-doo. But if we go out in the garage, our fiber's in. I don't know if I've done much of an update since we got our fiber either. Somebody asked me, I got a kick out of this, and they weren't being a troll. They were being a legitimate human. But somebody asked me, I don't know if they're in the chat or not, but somebody asked me if the tank was secured, because compressed gas tanks by safety and OSHA standards are supposed to be secured to something. And I'm here to tell you that, yeah, this thing is secured to the ground by magnets. This floor is magnetic, and if you see, even with all my strength in one arm, I can't pick it up. So this thing is magnetically secured to the ground, and it is not an OSHA safety hazard. The person who made that comment wasn't trolling. It was kind of a joke, but this is definitely secured to the ground with super strong magnets, and you cannot possibly knock this over by bumping into it and causing any sort of problem. So that's an empty one, by the way. I'm sure somebody's going to catch me. That's empty. That poses no hazard. This one, I don't even know if I should show you guys this. I was so sick and tired of people making comments about this thing not being secured, so I put a ratchet strap around the plastic shelf. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but look at this thing. Like, what the hell is this gonna do? The damn tank is an anchor for the shelf, not the other way around. I don't know why I think that's so damn funny, but I used to do that. When I was at the bus, like when I actually used to be a mechanic, like an actual mechanic, we had like argon tanks and acetylene tanks and stuff, and I would always do that shit. Like, that thing's not going anywhere. That thing weighs 100 pounds. It's on flat ground. I mean, just look how hard they are to knock over. I mean, like, come on, guys. Like, it's not going anywhere. But it's I used to do that shit all the time. Like, I would secure it to the most flimsy thing possible. Somebody had a rolling chair like that at my job, and I ratchet strapped it to the rolling chair. I don't know why. I always laugh at that stuff. So that one's secured. Yes, safe as fuck. I agree, but it's an inert gas. I mean, the only hazard that this thing poses if it falls over, if this thing breaks off, you've got a torpedo. So it is actually a legitimate thing, and we are going to get a cage to put these in. What my plan is somewhere in this, because this is kind of like our weather balloon station. Somewhere in this area, we'll actually put we'll take like a 2x4, another 2x4, and then another 2x4, make a U, and then we'll put little, like, 2-foot tall posts, or like 4x4 posts, make it one unit, and then we'll just put like a chain around it. That way you don't really technically need these secured, as long as it's in like a gated area, if that makes sense. If it falls over, like the chain catches it. But we'll have something like where we can set these where they're not going to get bumped into, because like it actually is a legitimate hazard. It's compressed gas. It's inert. It's not going to blow up or do anything. It's just helium. But, well, that one's helium anyway. But it's fine. Once we get the hydrogen set up, so the hydrogen actually has to be outside. So we have to pipe the hydrogen in. If we store the hydrogen inside, you have to do all sorts of stuff. Like, you've got to do fire suppression. Not only does it have to be a sprinkler, it has to be foam. At least certain guidelines anyway. Depends if you're looking at like NFPA or OSHA or whatever. But as long as you can shut it off at the building and you pipe it in, then really your only hazard is what happens if the balloon bursts and you have hydrogen in here. So you need ventilation, which we have. We've got exhaust. In fact, this whole area is actually under a little bit of negative pressure, just the way that this building is designed. I mean, you can feel a rush of air going out that exhaust when it's open. So anti-static mats, you have to discharge all, whatever. But I'm not in a huge hurry to switch over to hydrogen, because hydrogen does make it a lot cheaper for us. But at the end of the day, the amount that we save, yeah, it's $20 per launch. But we have to look at the cost of what's it going to cost for me to put hydrogen in outside and then pipe it in. Well, you're obviously going to get a return on that pretty quickly, but that's kind of looking like it's more and more of a 2027 problem than an early 2026 problem. So anyway, that's that. I still need to do something. That tank needs to go back. I got to get more. We're kind of on a budget constraint right now, obviously, but I haven't really made any progress over here. I have to bring more of our units. I still haven't brought them. My next thing I want to get, when I've got an $80 burning my hole in my pocket, because these are $88. It's a great value. I was getting a lot of crap. I had so many people come into the comments after the fact complaining about the fact that I have plastic shelves. And I'm just like, are they your shelves in your garage? If not, why do you care? Like, who gives a shit? These are actually a really good deal. They're $88, not a sponsor at Walmart, and they're seriously sturdy. They say they hold 1,000 pounds. I doubt it, but they're actually sturdy. It's the first set of plastic shelves that I've ever had that aren't flimsy, and I think it's because they've actually got like a structure underneath. It's not just, the grid. These are actually pretty good. I'm actually a fan of these. I mean, we don't put anything that heavy on them. It's just for parts. So I'm gonna get 2 more of these and basically fill up this area with them. That's Trash Mountain. I'm working on taking that home to the dumpster. I don't have a dumpster here yet. Up there, that's gonna be our data center and storage, and that's where we're kind of going, is this a hobby shop wannabe meteorologist? No, this is actually a $250,000 a year operation, and if you would like to apply to be part of it, you can go ahead and submit your credentials and your resume and cover letter, and I will promptly reject it. But anyway, where we're gonna build this data center up here, this is going to be to support us and part of the cyclone port operations for redundancy. You'll notice that there's just a bunch of shit up there, and that's because location, Stoughton, Wisconsin. It's on Google, but probably not with that attitude. But But anyway, that is basically a catch-all. I've literally, when I when I show up with stuff, I just throw it up there. It's getting a little organized. So that's actually going to be partially a data center. You can almost stand up there. So we're going to have to section that off with some plywood and stuff. And we're actually going to run an HVAC tube up there so we can pipe some air conditioning in there, because we're going to have some server racks up there. It's going to be a little bit, well, and storage for like stuff that we don't use much. It's going to be a little bit of a cluster, but it's going to be pretty good. Because right now, this is our server. This is new. You guys may notice this is not normally here. This is our BE 15,000. I know I get shit on a lot by TP-Link. I really do like TP-Link products. Oh, and I gotta show you the other half of this too. There's another half of this. This is all strewn about because I did this today, and until I know that it works, we're gonna leave it. This is going to be, this is temporary until we get our data center up, but we needed something like good enough. Nope, the cabinet is perfectly fine for what we're doing right now. So we've got positive airflow going through it. So this is actually pressurized. So these fans move a shit ton of air, and I don't feel like going up there, but if you put your hand over it, it's like a jet engine coming out. I'm not gonna open this because I don't wanna spoil it for a future video, but we actually have a Lenovo machine in here, and we've got our video servers in there as well. And what's really cool about that, I guess I'll go and show you. Well, I guess I can't show you because I don't have it booted up. But anyway, that's up there temporarily. That's gonna be up there for about 3 weeks maybe, and it's just sitting up there on the shelf. It's got some screws going up through the bottom so it doesn't fall off. Yeah, we have to have it in that because of dust and debris and everything. There's filters on those fans, and it's fine. There's fans on the top as well pulling it out, but it's negative or positive pressure. But anyway, but the data center is going to go up there. That's going to be pretty quick to put in. We just had to partition that off a little bit and then obviously clean it out because that's mainly to stop the dust. And then we'll pipe the HVAC in there, and that keeps the heat from overwhelming it. Because I can't put that, we could put it in the already air-conditioned office, but the fans on that are gonna be hellacious because that's one of several servers. What's in there is the server that's running our radio SON stuff. We can support about 15,000 users with that server, believe it or not. And before somebody comes after me about the internet connection, that's an 8 gigabit per second fiber line symmetrical, and we have another fiber line coming in, so we can do 16 gigabit per second in and out of here. We don't even need to do that, but we have one coming in because they're not gonna charge me for it. Because what had happened was they actually promised me a 10 gigabit, but they can only support 8 gigabit on the infrastructure coming into the building. So they're going to run me another fiber line, which is this thing, this here. They're gonna run me another line of fiber into the building and put it here, and then if we ever need it, we'll just get another ONT. So that's pretty cool, and it's 8,000 up and down. That's a 10 gigabit Ethernet router. Obviously, once we get the full data center, we'll have a different router on that with a different static IP, but we've got 10 static IPs here, and we're using like 4 of them right now. So we've got 2 machines in there that are running our streams, so the video servers, one for, the load is spread, me, Aiden, and Zach, it's spread out over that. That way we don't have to run them in the cloud anymore because that was ridiculous. That box right there, that box alone, like I said, is saving us about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I don't really expect to support 15 users on our radio SON tracking system, or 15,000, but we can. And 15,000 is about our max capacity. We can serve about 12,500 comfortably before CPU and RAM starts maxing out. And again, we'll talk about the server specs in there. They're actually pretty good. Believe it or not, it's actually a pre-built server or a pre-built tower server that we did some mods to. We do still have the off-site backup, but I don't pay for the off-site backup when it's powered down. Period at all, $0 a month. So unless this thing goes down, we're not paying anything. And we are going to put obviously that entire system on a battery backup. I'm just waiting for the big battery backup once we move it up there, but temporarily we're gonna get this on like an hour or 2 worth of UPS, just in case there's a power blip or something. But the main data center is gonna actually have legitimate backup power with like, maybe like probably a solid 48-hour capacity. So that's what we're looking at there. And that's a huge win because that's, your money, our supporters, our audience, that's your money that we don't have to spend on cloud infrastructure anymore. We can actually spend it on stuff that matters. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not going to paint it, guys. I thought about spray painting it, but that cabinet is going to be gone. That is not going to be needed in 3 to 4 weeks. Once we get that going up there, that's going to be a real quick, real easy project. Who pays for all this? You guys do. I don't get anything from the government. So here's the other half of the network. We just kind of crudely ran a cable drop here. We'll neaten this up later. This is a TP-Link 6300. Again, I know a lot of people bitch about TP-Link for commercial use. I've never had a problem with TP-Link. I think TP-Link is great. It interfaces well. We at the bus company, we had dozens of these specific routers, or the ones that came before them, the Wi-Fi 6 or whatever. Not this is whatever came before this one. So this basically is essentially a satellite. It's a range extender to the main router back there, and that's because our walls, it's not drywall. This is tin. So you've got 2 layers of tin. You got tin, insulation, tin. Now the router is back there for reference. There it is, back there. So it's got to go through 1 layer of tin, another layer of tin, and then the back room, another layer of tin, and then another layer of tin. So that's 4 layers of tin it's got to go through to get to my computers and stuff here. All of this, I got to neaten that up. I was messing with something. All this is on Wi-Fi because I refuse to run cables to everything, and it does just fine. But everything was fine until you shut the door, obviously. So we're actually getting a lot of Wi-Fi reflection probably off of that wall. The garage doors, maybe some of it too. But as soon as you would shut this door, you would drop from about 1,000, basically about a gigabit up and down on Wi-Fi. You would drop down to like 200 down and like 75 up. And even if you just cracked it a little bit, just that little bit of reflection coming off of there was plenty. So to actually bring the speeds back up. So I'm like, all right, well, so we put this right here in the winder. And the reason for that, putting it right there, it's Velcroed there, is so when we go out and we're doing a balloon launch, especially when it's cold, and we go out there to the launch site, AKA that field over there that also is kind of a mud pit when the sun hits it. But when we go over there to launch the balloon, we are now line of sight to our router, truck's warm, and we can keep a connection with the wireless cameras. With the doors shut, we lose Wi-Fi about halfway across the parking lot. At least enough Wi-Fi where we can support whatever, 8,000 megabits per second constant. Because what I'm typically using is something like this, like a DJI Osmo Action. And these are just set up. These actually have some experimental firmware on them. You power them on and they immediately start live streaming. And they actually go into our network and then they go into this box. And there's actually a separate video server, a small one in there. It's just a mini PC with Ubuntu on it that goes into there, and then it actually pulls a stream and then it puts it into the actual video servers that run OBS, vMix and all that. And they actually combine the graphics and the cameras and all that. So we're basically doing wireless HDMI. So maybe 5, yeah, I was gonna say 10, but yeah, even 5 years ago, before we had quality like Wi-Fi live streaming stuff like that on local networks, you would use an HDMI transmitter. So we would have, I'm trying to think if I got one. I guess the closest thing I got is this is an old GoPro. I've had this since I think 2018 with the media mod, and you would plug HDMI into this and you would have an HDMI transmitter that actually was about the size of this, and it would go like on top, and that had a battery, and that was a pain in the ass. And then you would have an HDMI receiver, and that HDMI receiver would plug into whatever you're making your stream out of, and that was great. Range was limited. You had to move it around all the time. The batteries died, whatever. Basically turning our Wi-Fi into our wireless HDMI and just doing everything that way, taking RTMP, bringing it in, time syncing it because we're transmitting time code with all this, and then time syncing it, which is important so that the audio lines up. Because like, for example, we got that camera up there. That camera is an IP camera, but it's also running RTMP into the server, and then that server is converting it. Everything gets converted back to RTSP, which is the IP camera protocol. And the main reason for that is RTSP works very well with vMix and OBS, whereas RTMP doesn't. RTMP as basically as a source breaks all the time. RTSP does not. I know a lot of people use SRT. SRT still breaks. RTSP does not break because you're pulling. So you're requesting to pull. So if something happens and you lose that signal, the computer, the encoder, whatever is still requesting that. So it's always telling the device, hey, I still need the video. So anyway, that's kind of how that works. Those are connected by LAN. We're gonna put more of those cameras up as well. But that way, if I'm talking to you on like one of those cameras and I hit the button to switch to that camera because we want a wider shot, the audio is still in sync. Sometimes what'll happen is the audio will be a little bit out of sync because of different latencies, buffer formats, buffer sizes, things like that. So it keeps everything in sync. And also that system works when we're not here. So all of our storm chasing live streams, all the stuff from when we're not here, that system is exposed to the internet. Obviously, because I know somebody's gonna come in here and be like, I'm an IT professional, and that's dangerous. No, it's not, because in order to get data in and out of the internet, you have to expose to the internet. Obviously, we've got a firewall on there. We've got it's not I don't need the coaching right now. And I only say that, maybe you can tell that I'm frustrated because every time I bring up the internet, I get 35 emails from people. And I'm not talking about the polite ones. I'm talking about the rude ones where people are telling me like, oh, you don't know what you're doing and all that. And it's like, really? Because I must know something because we're here. But anyway, that's that. So that'll basically take it. What I'm getting at is it's seamless switching. So we can run our live streams through this building, whether we're here or in Texas. And that gives us stable signal, that gives us overlays, it gives us multi-camera, all that stuff. We used to do that. We've been doing that since 2019, right? But that was all done in the cloud. And it was costing me, that part of it was costing me minimum $200 a month, minimum, just for the computer in the cloud. And I'm not talking about data. Now we do it back there. So that's cool. All right. You don't think it's wise to have weather available to everyone? Well, I definitely think it is because I don't really think it's a good idea to restrict data that can potentially save people's lives. Can you punch me in the nose? Only if I can knock your fucking ass on the ground faster than you're gonna get to me, douchebag. Jesus Christ, what the hell is wrong with people tonight? Must be because we're in the shorts feed. Why not buy an AWS server? Dude, we did, and it was $2,000 a month for all this. I can't afford it. We can have an initial $4,500 investment. I'm trying to think because it's not, the server itself isn't necessarily what's been expensive here. It's been everything else that goes along with it. Okay, you need a server. Well, now you need a commercial router. Well, now you need a firewall thing. The firewall, well, I mean, that was the router, but you need a router that's got a firewall interface. And then you need this. And then, they don't provide you with the fiber ONT. You have to, because I have a static IP, they make me buy the stupid thing. So it's been all the little fixins that go along with it. If it was just buying a server, like going out and going to, I don't know, buying a Dell PowerEdge off of Amazon and for $900 and plugging it in, that's great. But our system, our services, I'm not talking about the video services, I'm talking about the weather balloon services. This is the SON data, all that stuff, the telemetry basically. That stuff's very RAM intensive, but it is not CPU intensive. And it's been very difficult for me to find, and that's why we kind of Frankensteined one, but it actually turned out really, really cool. That's gonna be another video, that's why I'm not showing you. Basically a system that's got a good CPU, but a piss ton of RAM, because buying a lot of these pre-built, even the Dell PowerEdge systems, you go up in RAM and you also go up in CPU and you're paying for that. Well, I don't wanna put the money into the CPU, I wanna put the money in the RAM. CPU is important, but the way we do things with optimization and caching in the front end, we need RAM, not CPU. And like I said, we did load testing and calculations at 15,000 before that thing says, I'm done, I can't do anymore. 12,500 concurrent API users or viewers, whatever, before that actually even thinks about being concerned. And what's cool, this server alarms into our Discord server. So instead of getting an email or something, if this thing gets overloaded, if it loses power and reboots, if it goes into battery backup, anything like that, it actually goes into our Discord server and sends a notification. And every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, it sends a heartbeat signal into our Discord server and pings me. And basically, if it's had any issues in the past 24 hours, I get a summary of them, even if they weren't meeting alarm criteria. Like, for example, if it notices, hey, the CPU was a little bit higher overall, like the average CPU load maybe was 6%, well, yesterday it was 12%, maybe something's up, it will actually say, abnormal CPU, and then actually stick it into our Discord. So like you get the notifications for free without having to pay for like an extra email, whatever server in here, which is pretty cool. Being able to leverage free stuff that we use, which is Discord, that we use to run our business already. Because we don't use Slack, we don't use Teams, we use Discord. It's the same thing, it's free, it makes sense. And we can actually pipe that in with webhook. We pipe all the alarms and status updates right into it, which is really, really cool. So I'm pretty excited about this. So we did a lot of custom stuff over the past few days. That's why I really couldn't. What the fuck? I don't get it. Wow, that's great. What did I just do? I don't know what I did. What the frick? Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's great. I love YouTube. But anyway, that's why I haven't really been live in here, because I've had the network on and off. And as you can tell with this metal, I'm not going to be able to stream unless I've got Wi-Fi, right? So, or internet rather. I've had that network up and down about 20 times in the past 72 hours. So I was just like, we're not even going to bother. It's not going to happen. We do have a second ISP. We have Spectrum in here, and I thought about streaming off of that, but I'm just like, whatever. I'm not going to bother with that. But yeah, that, long story short, that was a legitimate question. Why aren't you using AWS or something? It's just too expensive, because we're not just streaming, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. We're not streaming. We are literally running an enterprise out of this location that is crowdfunded by the audience. If I can save $2,000 a month, that literally, I'm saving $2,000 a month that you guys are paying for. That means that we can take that $2,000. I'm gonna show you something here. This box, that's $3,000 worth of Radiosondes. $3,000 worth of Radiosondes in this box. We're gonna go through that box in 6 days. 6 days we're gonna go through that during our Rise 26 mission. So that's a substantial saving that we desperately need. So that was a legitimate question. With a very long answer. So something I want to remind you guys, though, Rise 26 is going to be our big mission, right? That's not operating year-round. Project Weather Eye, is obviously operating year-round. But something to note, I would love to go launch a weather balloon right now and get more data that we can help the Weather Service, NSEP, and of course you guys and us. But it's not the balloon, which is right here. It's not the balloon. It's not the parachute. It's not even necessarily the helium that's that terribly expensive. It's those Radiosondes. $225, boom, gone. The balloon and the parachute, yeah, whatever. They're consumables, but it's operating expense. Helium is expensive. This tank here was, I think, by the time they had the fees, because they charge you a hazmat fee and then the tax, I think it was $290 for this. No, $263. $263 for this. And then I'm charged $1.15 a day to rent it. That one over there was closer to $400 because it's like twice the size. We'll get about, 4 or 5 launches out of this, something like that. But it's one of those things where it's like, whatever. The sondes are expensive, so that's why we're running our GoFundMe. I know you probably don't have it right now. I can actually pin it in the chat. If you go to our website. No, I can't pin it. Are you freaking kidding? I can't even type in my own chat right now. Are you serious? Anyway, if you go to our website, weathereye or wxeye.org, that's where our GoFundMe is. I'll leave it here. We're going to go old school. There. Now I'm going to dramatically hold the camera. So if you go to that website right there, you can actually find our GoFundMe. Or you guys could just probably find it on my YouTube channel. That we're trying to run to offset this. So this is going to be a really cool project. Anyway, I'll show you guys some of the back end stuff real quick, and then I'm going to go because like the truck's definitely warm now. Okay, so if you go to our website, weatheri.org, so here's what it looks like. You scroll down, and here's our GoFundMe. Obviously, we are at 70. Hold on, I want to see. Let me see real quick what we are at 31%. We're up to 31% in 2 months. I think that's pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. But here's our soundings, and except for this one's a weather service sounding, and I need to get that out of there. That was experimental. But if you click on the sounding, look how fast that loads now compared to before. It's because that server's faster than our cloud system. So here's what the data looks like. And you can actually see I'm manually dragging it. So you're actually looking at the live, well, it was live weather balloon data. And you've got the map over here, so you can zoom in, which is cool. You've got some stats. Lowest temperature was -80, highest was 40. And here's the technical stuff. Meteorologists, weather folks, this is what you need in your SKU-T and your hodograph. And this is a custom viewer that we built. What's cool, look at this, I can zoom in on it. You wanna take a look at this inversion right here? Oh yeah, we can do that. How's that? We can zoom in even more. Same with the hodograph. Whoops. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, we've only launched a couple, but this spring, when we're doing our Rise 26 mission, this is going to just be full of SONs. And obviously, we're going to bring them into our live stream as well. There, I'll pin that. I pinned the website in the chat. So that's interesting. It lets me pin yours, but I can't pin mine. Anyway. And if you guys scroll down, you'll see this little info box with a video. You guys can click to play this. I know it's not super obvious. I need to fix that, but this is a little video that kind of explains what we're doing. And if you click to learn more, it'll open in a new tab. But I have to do some cleaning up. We've got some formatting issues on the website here. But here's basically a little bit of an explainer about what we do. So our Rise 26 mission is going to be high resolution intelligence into storm environments. This is basically a primer to future missions for 2027 and 2028. So that's what it stands for, high resolution intelligence into storm environments 2026. So that's where we get the Rise 26. It sounds cool. This explains a lot about what we're doing. This is our official mission logo. Here's the video again. There's our soundings. This is a little bit about the fundraiser. And then here's kind of a little bit more of a detailed breakdown, and we've got more information coming out on this. This is just kind of the primer, but this overall experience, this mission, is going to be the primer to our future missions. This is basically us setting a ground level, like, hey, a base level, you know, hey, this is what we can do. This is what works. This is what doesn't. And that way we can go into a more hypothesis and different parts of the scientific method in 2027 and beyond. So I'll go through the website real quick. So at the core of it is our upper air program. And that's the weather balloons and stuff. Well, it is the weather balloons, whether that's the atmospheric, the high altitude atmospheric launches, or the lower ones, because some of our balloons are going to be configured to go to, 20, 30,000 feet in certain instances, and then others, in fact, most of them, are going to be set to go to about 60,000 feet, and then we will have some that will go all the way up to 100 or 100+ thousand feet, depending on what we're trying to measure on that day. We've also got our ground-based network coming in. I didn't really have a picture, so I made a logo. But that's and that is definitely off center, isn't it? It's off center of the circle. I gotta fix that. I just noticed that. Oh my God, it's gonna bother me. Our ground-based network. So we're gonna have about 20 to 50 of these deployable probes, which is really, really cool. So that's gonna be kind of the ground level. So we're gonna have the upper air observations and the ground level observations. And this is all going to happen live, and you're going to be able to see it live, and we're gonna live stream it live. None of this is going to be, you know, kept secret. It's all going to be as it's happening. Like it's good. It's probably, I mean, I can't speak for everyone here, but I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. And then obviously our storm scale deployments as well. This is kind of a graphic that I made. It got partially cut off just because of the formatting, but I'll have this will actually get posted on social media here soon. But we're going to be planning on doing storm scale deployments. So in an event where we actually have a slow moving supercell with clean inflow, slow moving tornado or whatever, we're going to try to get 2 or 3 launch vehicles in the path and actually in strategic succession launch weather balloons. Try to launch one maybe 15 miles out ahead of the storm if possible, that goes to 60,000 feet. Anywhere between 2 and 10 miles ahead of the storm, we'd like to get to about 30,000 feet. And then right in the storm's inflow, we're going to send up a small 50-gram balloon with a smaller sonde that just does wind speed and direction, and send that up and just let it basically trace the inflow path there, or basically kind of the inflow stream into the supercell. It won't be exact because helium's lighter than air, so it's obviously going to ascend out of that inflow streamer, but it'll give us some data and basically a small storm scale hodograph, which is going to be really cool. And obviously the live video grid. We're going to continue with our live video network as well of our live storm chases on the ground and all that. So it's going to be pretty cool. So that's that. And you can buy some stuff too. This merchandise sucks. Well, I mean, I made it, but the logo is pretty sweet. We're going to have patches as well too. The hat's very simple, but the shirts, like the quality of the shirts are fine. It's just nothing super exciting here, and that's kind of how we like it. But you can buy these, and these do help support the mission, but a shirt is a shirt, so that's kind of what we're looking at. So let me look through the comments, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here. It's 11 o'clock now. No more empty promises. July 24, 2026, Kingston, Jamaica. 1 million people march. Dude, are there even 1 million people in Jamaica? Hey, question.
What's on your mind?
How many people are in Jamaica?
Jamaica's population right now is about 2,800,000.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I was wrong. I don't even know what that's all about. There are a lot of nuts. I think it's because we're in the shorts feed tonight. It is going to be an interesting spring. I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is very expensive, and it's been, you know, we're working to crowdfund what we're doing, and that's tough. I could go off about a lot of things tonight. I'm trying to be professional, but it has nothing to do with our current partners. Let's put it that way. But new company policy: don't ever work with anybody other than your own business ever again. I don't give a rat's ass what it's about. I'm not talking about our current partners. It has nothing to do with Scientific Sales, nothing to do with Radar Omega. It's some other YouTubers that, I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of extending an olive branch to try to help people during times of need, and then when asking for literally 10 seconds worth of effort in return, not money, just 10 seconds of your time, being told, I'm not quite sure if I approve because I don't really know where that GoFundMe is going. Do you have a profit and loss statement? No, I'm not giving you a profit and loss statement when I've been giving you free content for the past 8 months. Are you fucking serious? So no. I'm sorry. That'll be a members only stream for now. I'm not dog shitting on anybody. Don't even get me started. I'm going through something right now here, clicking through something, but I'm just over it. We work with ourselves now, nobody else, and obviously our partners. Again, it has nothing to do with Radar Omega or Scientific Sales or anything. Just people that are rotten. Yeah, we use the EIoT Club SIM cards. They're fine. We've used Telenex before, or Telenex, whatever it is. But the EIoT ones are fine. You can't beat the price. Because not for video. For video, we have to use AT&T or Verizon IoT SIM cards. But the EIoT prepaid SIM cards are perfectly fine for the probes. They work perfectly fine. You're not going to beat the price on those either. Other people only care about themselves these days. Yeah, no shit. What weather station? Okay, so not a sponsor. Well, kind of. Hold on. I'm not paid to say this. So if you go to scientificsales.com here, this is our folks at Kmart, Weather Balloon Paul and Jesse and everybody down there in Florida purchased Scientific Sales, which is great because Scientific Sales is a great name. It's just the person who used to own it was just not shipping orders and kind of sucked ass. And now it's owned by some people who really actually, like, they will ship. If they have your order in stock, it's going out that day within minutes. Here you go, Davis, 556 bucks. So we'll add this to cart. Honestly, I would just get something that's a Davis. I'm not a huge fan of Tempest. Do not buy an Accurite. Period. They're junk. Well, they are, but they're not. Like they're just junk. And I'm not paid by Scientific Sales. They're very consumer. They're fine. If you have one, they're fine. But if you're gonna go spend, I see people dropping $300 on Chinese Accurites. It's like spend an extra $150 and get a quality one. But these Davis systems are pretty good. You can get cheaper ones, more expensive ones, but just something Davis. If you don't want to spend the money, stay away from Accurite. And then your next choice that's cheaper would be like a Tempest. But what's cool, if you add this thing to the cart, and then you go to the cart and check out, watch this shit. This is pretty cool. You go to, here we go. This, and you type in Weather Eye, all capital. And look at that, you just saved $44 by typing in Weather Eye. And one thing I want to mention, this 8% discount has absolutely nothing to do with it being sponsored or anything. This is just Paul and I sat down from Kmart, Scientific Sales, whatever. And Paul was like, yeah, we love your audience. And I'm just like, yeah, me too. And he was like, well, what can we do for the audience? He's like, we want to help you with the balloons and stuff. Like, what can we do for the audience? And we were sitting down at lunch, and we're like, well, we'll do a discount code. So 8% site-wide. You'll get 8% off site-wide. And I'm not paid to say that. So I have to say that, otherwise I'm breaking a terms of service with YouTube. But I am not paid to say that. This is not a promotion. I'm just telling you, these folks wanted to do something nice for our audience, and I'm helping spread the word. And that's they sell other stuff too, Davis stuff, like Coco Rods, like NWS approved rain gauges. They sell some lightning systems, like consumer and prosumer lightning systems, which is kind of cool, like the personal lightning alarms and stuff. Like if you're out fishing on a boat, don't have a cell connection or whatever. The Kestrels, they do sell Kestrels, obviously weather balloons. Temperature and humidity oh my God, I didn't even realize. Oh geez, I didn't realize that they, I wonder if they sell, they do. I didn't even realize Paul had these. Anyway, that'll be for another video. Learn something new every day. Humidity generator, all sorts of interesting stuff like this, kind of a niche market. So there you go, folks. Not a sponsor, but that's where you can go get your weather station. But yeah, otherwise, if you don't want to spend the money, you can get like a Tempest. Tempest is okay. I don't like Tempest particularly because I feel like it's very consumer, but they charge a not consumer price. I'm trying to see how much this thing costs. Yeah, $349 for the Tempest. And it's really chintzy. I'm going to tell you one thing, guys. This Tempest is a piece of plastic, so it's that. You guys are going to shit a brick when I show you this. Ready? I have a Tempest weather station out here. I'm going to show you how chintzy these are. Hold on. I know you're probably like, wait a minute, why is he looking through this little box looking for this big weather station? It'll make sense in a minute. Ha, nope, that's a LoRa module. That's it. That right there is your Tempest weather station. I shit you not. This is an $11 Adafruit environmental sensor. That Tempest is a plastic container with this sensor in it that I got for $11. And you can take a Raspberry Pi for $30, interface the two, and for $40 have a fucking weather station. Davis is kind of the same way, but Davis gives you a higher quality sensor, or I'm sorry, not a higher quality sensor, a higher quality enclosure. So with Davis, you're kind of with Davis, you're paying for the quality and the integrity of it, and this enclosure is much better. It's truly it's a professional product that's made to stand up. I'm not sponsored by these people. I just tell you, when I think a product is shit, I just tell you that's all it is. AccuWeather, they're shit. Or AccuWeather, Accurate, they're shit. I'm dead serious. I had somebody approach me trying to get me to work with Accurate to put Accurate probes out in front of tornadoes, and I'm just, instead of building our own, and I'm like, no, that's a joke. I'm gonna get laughed at by everybody. I'm not doing that. Tempest uses a good sensor. I just showed you that one out there. I think it's the same as the Davis, but where they cheap out is the enclosure and the technology in it. It's just, it looks good. It's eye candy. It looks good to the consumer, but this price is the problem. The device itself isn't the problem. The price is the problem. This $349, that $349 should be more like $199. If they would actually sell this, like if the Tempest, let's say it was like $199, I would be like, hell yeah, buy this. But not for that price. Not for that price. That's just crazy, in my opinion. I'm looking through something here. Here, I'll at least put it on scientific sales. If you buy the tech, can I feed you the data? Eric, if you seriously want something, I'll just build you something and send it to you. Those devices, like the cost of them and stuff, what's expensive in them is the damn batteries. But if you're doing like a home device that can be plugged into the wall, it's a lot cheaper. It's like just a couple parts. The battery's just kind of expensive. I'm dead serious. Like if you, I would absolutely build you something and just send it to you. So anyway, we'll take a look at the conditions before we get out of here. Yeah, Accurate's okay. It's just, and like you said, you made one from two broken ones. And it's like, it seems like there's always a broken one. The thing is, like, it's a consumer thing. And like, for me to be able to, like, for me to put one out, like, in what we're doing is data that's research quality and can be used in data sets to research storms in the future. Like, I can't use an inferior sensor, basically. And I know that really upsets some people and some YouTubers, but it's just, I'm really tired of everybody trying to milk. Like, people these days are just trying to milk each other for everything, and I'm just getting real sick of it. Like, honest to God, we're gonna break from the weather wall for a minute. I am, honest to God, starting to feel like I am the only person out here in the fucking weather industry that's trying to do something that's not just putting a camera in the windshield and running around and screaming bro 5,000 times and talking about a tornado over there that doesn't even exist. Like, I, honest to God, like, there are days where I feel like I am the only one out here and I'm surrounded by a bunch of fucking morons. Like, I'm dead serious. And I don't care if that upsets anybody. I don't care if you screen record that and try to cancel me with it. I don't care. But that's, honest to God, what I'm starting to feel like. Now, obviously there's exceptions. We have good ones out there. But it's an exaggeration to prove my point. So adding that disclaimer in there, I'm not saying everybody out here is an idiot, but I'm honestly just getting like more and more frustrated with the stupidity out here, where this is what storm chasing was 10 years ago. Break from this. 10 years ago, you used to have people that were doing stuff like this all the damn time. Like this and that. Maybe not to this extent, not on this scale. I mean, we didn't have people launching 200 weather balloons a year and building 50 ground probes and, 80 freaking video probes and all that stuff. We didn't have that, but we had people doing engineering and coming up with their own things. Like there was a novelty. It was more like an art form where there was like a craft to it. But now it's just become an excuse for somebody to try to get popular on the internet and milk it for a shit ton of money. While those of us that are trying to do something have to struggle because this doesn't go viral. This is long-term investment. This back here is a long-term business plan. The going viral model gets you a shit ton of money over 5 years, and then you tank out and you have nothing. Literally look at everybody out here on the internet. Long-term versus short-term. I will take long-term if that means struggling a little bit. And I'm happy to take that trade-off. Like we could totally just run around like idiots and just live stream and put absolutely nothing that we make back into it. But as you can see, we're putting what we make back into this because I get bored with live stream. I don't want to just live stream. I want to do this and I want to be able to live stream what I'm doing and show you guys this. Plus, this is actually a smart business model because like right now, we made $14.99 in Super Chats. I've been live for 45 minutes. Thank you, by the way. But how much are we going to make in ad revenue? How much are we going to make in future revenue from subscribers and stuff? This is a live stream that I wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have this stuff. This stuff creates something for me to live stream. This creates something that we can make content on, me, Aiden, Zach, etc., that we can make content on. So I will take the long-term business plan over the short-term freaking Ricky rescue mentality out here. Apologize. So anyway, back to the wall of weather, aka Radar Omega, which I need to get a bigger one of these. There is actually a decent amount of stuff happening. So out here in the Pacific Northwest, they've just been hammered by these atmospheric rivers and such. And I need to foreshadow something. I'm gonna drop a bombshell right now. Just irritate the hell out of people because there's somebody watching right now that needs to be irritated. I'm very spiteful, yes, in a way, but I don't let it like bother me. Hold on a second. I don't like it doesn't ruin my it doesn't control my life. I'm one of those people where it's like if you've done me wrong or you're just a jerk, like I kind of want to take a jab. That's all. Error loading data. What? You kidding me? Oh, I guess we're not doing that. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna show you something cool. So, oh no, it doesn't work right. It's because of the stupid widescreen monitor. Hold on. Okay. All right, so as you can see in our new, you guys, I'm foreshadowing here a little bit. In our new broadcast system here that I've built, there's a lot going on. We've got some winter weather advisories up here in the Northeast. Let's see if it goes back to our flood watch. Nope, that's a winter weather advisory also. I was hoping we would land on the flood watches because it's a segue into my next thing here. ... Nope, okay. Hold on here, gotta stop the rotation. This may or may not be, anyway, these green areas out here, God damn it, these are the flood watches. There is a high risk for rainfall. Hold on, WPC. It's for day 3. So this is Christmas Eve. There's now a high risk for flash flooding in this Los Angeles, Southern California area. So, Merry Christmas it's going to flood. That's fantastic. So anyway, the wall of weather. So these are those atmospheric rivers up in the higher elevation. Winter storm warnings there as well. Yeah, so I actually intended to have some sort of a video wall. We're actually going to put it out there. Good question. I don't know why that got blocked. Not by the mods, but by the YouTube. We're going to put it back in that corner so we can stand in front of a video wall and point at stuff. But up here in the Northeast, there's apparently, it looks like, I don't know if this is some lake effect enhancement snow coming in there by Buffalo, but definitely looks like a mess up there. I don't see any lake effect snow warnings, but it's pretty much quiet and clear here through the central part of the U.S. So that's what's going on for the weather. Somebody to ask. So there you go. That's about it. But we're going to have those continued rain showers out there in California over the next few days. So. That's that. I'm actually going to shut this place down and get out of here because I totally intended to, oh, somebody sent us money. Hold on. We're live. We can acknowledge that for a change. Hold on. I got to boot the computer back up. My truck's been running for 45 minutes now, so hold on. Somebody sent money. Let's acknowledge them. Hold on. Who sent money? Go fund me. $16 minutes ago. I don't know who it was, but somebody did. So we're up to $75.75. Yeah, $75.75. Okay, yeah, cool. Whoever that was, thanks. I don't know why it's not showing me. It's showing me like the first people, whatever. Anyway, you get it. So thanks, folks. Literally even $1, because like if you think about it, we've got what 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. If every one of those people sent us $1, we would literally fund. Like we wouldn't have to do anything all year. I'm not trying to imply that you need to send me pity money. I'm proving my point why this is obtainable. So I'm going to turn the heat back on, and we're going to set this this thing down to 57. This thing gets it so warm in here. Like we can go from 57 degrees to 70 in like 10 minutes. So I just turn it way down. This handy dandy switch. So if we're videoing and we don't want to listen to it, just turn it off. So I just set it at like 57 and it's fine. Yeah, throw this one out. I don't remember what that was, but I'm going to pitch it. I should take some garbage, but I'm not going to. This is all going to go. I've just been waiting to be fully done. So I need a door stop. So I want to keep this open because I just shut the heat off in here. And hold on. I need my coat. Yeah, so I change. People keep talking about the Crocs. So I take my boots off when I'm in here because I'm trying not to track like nasty shit. Like I'm trying to I want this place to be nice, and I don't like sweeping the floor. I want this to be a nice place, so I'm trying. Like I take my boots off when I come in here because my boots are full of like shit from walking around out there. So that's why I wear the Crocs in here. I mean, I don't have to, but like it's all slushy and like nasty, and there's like salt and sand out there, and I'm trying to not track it in. So this is locked, right? All right, so I guess I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I turned that back on, right? Hold on. The heat is on, right? Yeah. Okay. Just make sure I didn't. All right. So you folks have a good night. Take care. And I think I'm gonna leave without that. Just leave that. I just leave all that on. Make sure I have my key. I do. Oh, and the window needs locked. Hold on a second. Find the window lock here. Nope, that's not locked. That's locked. Okay. This blind is a piece of shit. Anyway, so good night. I will probably have a live stream tomorrow from in here. I'll have a live stream from tomorrow in there. I'm going to lose the Wi-Fi because it doesn't penetrate the building. Well, actually, no, I won't because we have that satellite router right there. But I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow with some sort of a more formal update. Be careful out here tonight, though, people. It's really slippery. Like, the parking lot is, like, almost glare ice. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or what. But, oh, yeah, look, even the windshield. Well, yeah, it was a little icy. Apparently not as much as I thought, so. So, anyway, yeah, look at that. Hold on. Got to get through the warning messages. Those have been there since I bought it. That check engine light, guys, has been on since 2023. When I bought this truck in 2023, that check engine light was on. So look at that, 239, 260. Wow, fantastic. So best vehicle I've ever had. In fact, that windshield has been cracked across the bottom there since 2023 also. Anyway, all right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you next time, I guess.